The Sum of All Fears, the latest Tom Clancy novel adapted for the big screen, stars Academy Award winner Ben Affleck as CIA analyst Jack Ryan. In the film, Affleck's character tries to prevent the onset of World War III.
Wait a minute. General, the president is basing his decisions on some really bad information right now. And if you shut me out, your family and my family and 25 million other families will be dead in 30 minutes. My orders are to get the right information to the people who make the decisions. I just need to send some information.
Ben, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me.
This role of Jack Ryan, once played by Harrison Ford, you had big shoes to fill.
Yeah, huge shoes to fill. Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford. It was very intimidating and very sort of daunting.
Yeah, is it true you talked to both of them before you started filming? What'd they tell you?
Yeah, I did. You know, it wasn't so much that I wanted them to tell me something as that I just wanted to kind of say, I don't know what, just pay my respects, let them know, tell them I was doing it to see if it was okay, mostly, you know what I mean?
And
I didn't want them to say, that's a terrible idea, you can never do this. I probably would have changed my mind. But yeah, I kind of get their blessing so I feel better about doing it.
And Tom Clancy, too.
Yeah, I talked to Tom Clancy, and I wanted him to know also, I mean, besides just kind of doing a job interview for the guy, I wanted him to know that we were starting over, essentially, like that the idea was, and what he thought about the idea of making, you know, it's a current story, but starting him in basically his first year at the CIA.
Yeah, he's 20 years younger in this movie, so you changed the character a little bit.
Yeah, he's just dating now the woman that he ends up, you know, that we know he ends up marrying from the later movies, and he's a little bit, you know, more green. He's a little wet behind the ears. He's just getting used to it. He doesn't always say the right thing. He's not quite exactly sure.
Doesn't know to wear a tie to work.
Tie to work, exactly. When to talk, when not to talk.
That's
you know?
right.
So I thought that made that particular aspect of the character made me well suited to play him.
By all accounts, this movie is technically very accurate, and you had access to the Pentagon, to the White House. You went to the CIA.
Yeah. Well, Tom Clancy's books are always you always get a sense that you're seeing behind the curtain, kind of, and that, you know, you have a real sense that you're getting to see how things really work. And we want to maintain that level of authenticity, you know, and people luckily liked the books a lot in the Defense Department and the intelligence community, and so they helped us a lot, and it was important. You know, we replicated everything down to the littlest details that we could from the CIA.
And at the CIA, you learned not to mess around with security, too.
Yeah, I did. They told me if I got more than like 15 feet away from my guide, that these, you know, police guys in jumpsuits would come out and tackle me. So I stayed pretty close. But they were very helpful and very accommodating. Some pretty remarkable people, actually.
Is that where you learned Russian and a little Ukrainian, too?
I picked up a little Russian and Ukrainian, mostly from. I worked with the Russian analysts at the CIA, and I didn't try out my feeble Russian on them because, like, you know, I'm an actor. They're actual Russian speakers. You know what I mean? If I got a couple of phrases in Russian, that's great, kid. We're proud of you. You know, I just pretended to speak Russian on the set, where I get to learn it sort of phonetically. You know, like learning Russian for dummies.
Yeah. Tom Clancy wrote this book 11 years ago. You shot this movie before September 11th. But it has received a lot of attention since September 11th for obvious reasons. Do you worry that people, Ben, will get a little freaked out, maybe, given the climate right now when they go see this movie?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think that's an unreasonable concern. I'm not sure how people react. I suspect people will react differently, and that you'll see reactions all along the gamut. It certainly is even more disturbing in light of the events of September 11th and in light of the kind of world that we live in now, although I think Tom Clancy wrote it as a cautionary tale, and in that respect, in some ways, it's even more pertinent now, particularly as regards how we monitor and safeguard the nuclear arsenal of the former Soviet Union.
Did you make any changes in the movie because of September 11th?
No, not at all, actually. The weird thing is that the movie itself sort of changed. When we shot it, it was like an escapist political drama. We wanted to make a smart thriller for adults, and then it just turned into a drama, you know what I mean, without us changing anything. It has so much more a kind of visceral effect when you watch it now because of the certain scenes that kind of echo what happened. Mm-hmm. It really, I think, speaks to Tom Clancy's prescience in anticipating, tragically, what, you know, what a world might be like where the United States had to deal with domestic terrorism.
I mentioned earlier, you are a busy man, changing lanes this year.
Yeah.
You just shot a movie with Jennifer Lopez, Gigli.
Gigli, yes.
Gigli, what a name.
I know, that's the name that nobody can pronounce, so I'm not
Well,
sure
it looks like
it'll still have
Jiggly,
it
you know,
does,
G-I-G-L-I.
I know, so everybody says kind of like, so this movie, Gigli, Jiggly.
And then you also shot this movie called Daredevil, which was based on the Marvel comic book.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. That was a comic book I read as a kid, and it was sort of a, you know, these playing Jack Ryan and playing Daredevil are sort of flip sides of the coin for me in terms of things I've always been a fan of growing up. And you know, with Clancy, when I got the Clancy book says I got a little older, and Daredevil when I was a kid.
Right.
You know, reading comic books and stuff, and it's very exciting. And I hope that with the success of Spider-Man, it sort of opened up people to realizing that you can, even if you didn't grow up on comic books, you can enjoy these
still
movies.
enjoy
you
it.
know?
A whole new genre, right, for people.
Yeah.
So you're going to take a break and go sit on the beach after this very busy last couple of years.
I think so. I think I'd like to take a break at some point.
But you got a birthday coming up.
I do.
The big 3-0.
I'm turning 30. I know.
And you're not terribly happy about it either.
Well, it's not that I'm depressed about it so much as I think it means that all of a sudden I have to sort of take things more seriously. You know, you can't make mistakes that are as stupid. At least if you do make them, you don't have that I'm in my 20s still excuse. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you're sort of grown up. You know, at 30 years old, it's time to...
Time for
you know,
family. Time for kids.
See? You see, I get it all the time. You sound like my mom. What is this? Like a conspiracy.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I know a lot of friends getting married, having kids. It's
lots of women out there that I'm sure would volunteer.
Well, I don't know.
All right. Some of All Fears is the name of the movie. It's sure good to see you.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thanks so much. 8:12.